Welcome to the Rankin Review Show. It's the final week of December, and I have something a bit different planned for this week. Now, this entire month we've been covering the more well-known titles of the Rankin Bass Christmas specials, those being 1964's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1969's Frosty the Snowman, and 1970's Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Now, there are still several more specials that I need to get to, but I'll be getting to those at a later point. Likely not next year, but possibly the year after. But I do have one last Rankin Bass video left to cap off this month, and that is a top 5 list of the best Rankin Bass Christmas specials. So, let's not waste any more time, and let's get right to it. Number 5. Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Released in 1976, this is a direct sequel to the 1964's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and canonically it picks up directly after that film's events, where Santa has returned from delivering the gifts around the world. However, there are some minor continuity issues as Rudolph is once again seen as a young child, but if you think about it too hard you'll just end up with a headache, so it's best just to accept it as is. Santa receives a letter from his old friend Father Time, who is in serious trouble. Happy the baby New Year has gone missing, and if he isn't found, the new year can't begin and the old one will continue on forever. So, Santa summons Rudolph, who he knows is the only one who can make it through the thick fog and cross the sands of time. Although a sequel to one of the best Rankin Bass specials, this one leaves much to be desired. It's an interesting idea, and it's certainly not unwatchable by any means. I've seen it a few times now myself. But it's not very memorable, and a lot of that, in my opinion, has to do with the soundtrack. You can't have a piece of visual media, be it film or television, without good music. Especially not a Christmas special. They didn't even try on this one, and it's a severe detriment to this film's quality. Had they put in more effort in that department, this could have been a really good special. Unfortunately, we got what we got. But it is what it is, I suppose. Number 4. The Year Without a Santa Claus. The title says it all. This one is about a particular year where Santa felt that Christmas magic had completely died, so he decides to pass on delivering presents that year. A majority of the film sees the secondary characters like Mrs. Claus, the elves, and the reindeer taking on the holiday responsibilities themselves while attempting to lift Santa out of his slump by proving that Christmas spirits still exist. One major con of this special is again the lackluster soundtrack. The saving grace in that department being the phenomenal renditions of the Heat Miser Snow Miser song and Here Comes Santa Claus. But other than that, not a very memorable soundtrack. But those two suffice, I suppose. This is an okay special. I say at least check it out once. Number 3. Frosty the Snowman. Chronologically, the third special to be released, but taking place sometime after Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but before Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, this is another one of the classics. Although it's half the normal runtime, clocking in at barely 25 minutes, this one also has great writing and decent acting as well. There's less for the characters to work with here as everything moves at such a fast pace in a short amount of time, but everyone does a more than serviceable job with the voice acting, for the material they've been given at least. It's really the heart that's the strong point of this special. Although that only goes so far, because it's a cold hard fact that no matter how good the writing and acting are in a piece of art, you have to have a damn good soundtrack underlying it for any of it to work, and other than the singular title track, Frosty the Snowman, this special is heavily lacking in that department. I'd still recommend it. Absolutely, it's still very good for what it is, and even with the lack of an extensive soundtrack, it's so inoffensively short that it never overstays its welcome. So in a weird way, the thin plot and shorter runtime actually works in its favor in this particular case. Number 2. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Although chronologically the first to be released, story-wise this one takes place after Santa Claus has come into town, with Santa's castle, workshop, and even the reindeer being the exact same ones from that special, with their seat of their origins being displayed in that film. And like that one, this one also has great writing, great acting, and a spectacular soundtrack. I highly recommend this one to everyone as well. And number 1, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the one that started it all, and in my opinion, the best of them all. Although chronologically released as the 4th entry in the franchise, this is the one that narratively precedes them all and lays the groundwork for all the others that follow, particularly Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and its direct sequels. With great writing, great acting, and a phenomenal soundtrack, I highly recommend this one to everyone. And that's my list, folks. These are my top 5 of the Rankin Bass Christmas specials. I'd like to take this time to thank my editor. Your hard work is very much appreciated, and I couldn't do this without you, so thank you. And to thank you all for your time as well. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed the other Rankin Bass Christmas special reviews from earlier in the month. I hope you all are having a great December, a great winter, and I hope you all are having an excellent, very Merry Christmas. Join me next month as we'll be going on to some other reviews on other properties. I won't state about what I have planned right now, but I do have some exciting stuff planned. So join me next week as we begin with that. Until then, everyone, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care of yourselves and each other, and be safe. Goodbye.